Emily Carter's life looked perfect on the outside. The Carter family name had weight in San Francisco's elite circles. Her father was a successful real estate developer, her mother a philanthropist known for charity galas, and Emily, their only daughter, the golden girl destined to carry the legacy. But golden cages can be suffocating. By the way, subscribe to your channel for more content. I will try my best. Emily had grown up with expectations she never asked for. Everyone believed she was the perfect daughter, yet she secretly carried a restlessness, a need for adrenaline, for something that could make her heart race beyond the dull predictability of champagne dinners and Ivy League fundraisers. That's when she discovered online casino games. At first, it was harmless. A few spins of slots, the flashing lights and ringing sounds filling the silence of her bedroom at midnight. A small win felt like magic, like breaking free from the careful prison her family had built around her. But soon, harmless turned into hunger. Emily didn't play for money. She played for escape. Every spin, every shuffle of cards, every roll of the roulette wheel felt like rebellion against the world that expected her to smile, curtsy, and marry well. Her boyfriend, Daniel, didn't know. He was a steady man, loyal and kind, a rare soul who loved her beyond her wealth. But she hid this secret from him, because gambling gave her something even his love couldn't: the thrill of losing it all. Emily starts small, $100 bets on blackjack, wins a few times, tells herself she'll stop. One night, she stumbles upon a live stream of Crazy Time. The host's exaggerated excitement, the spinning wheel, the multiplying jackpots, it electrified her. She joined in. Within weeks, she wasn't playing for fun. She was chasing. The losses piled up, but every loss whispered, "Just one more spin, one more hand, then you'll win it all back." And for a while, she did. A $10,000 win on roulette made her believe she was chosen, blessed, unstoppable. She laughed in her room at 3 a.m., clutching her phone like it was a portal to destiny. But destiny is cruel. Emily's lies begin. She tells her parents she's shopping when withdrawing thousands. She borrows from friends, from Daniel, promising she'll return it soon. But the wins grow smaller. The losses grow sharper. Her once bright eyes carry a new darkness, a shadow of sleepless nights and secret guilt. She loses 50,000 grands in a single night of blackjack. She vomits in the bathroom, trembling, yet hours later she's back at the screen, whispering, "Just one more." Daniel notices her change, her phone clutched tightly, her mood swinging from ecstatic to despair in minutes. He asks if she's okay. Emily smiles and lies, "Just stressed." But she knows, if he ever finds out, the man who loved her more than her last name would be gone. Still, the pull of the cards, the spin of the wheel, was louder than love. The night the Carter fortune first cracked was quiet. Emily sat in her room, laptop glowing, the rest of the mansion asleep. On the screen, blackjack. The dealer's face was frozen in a permanent smile, his robotic hands flipping cards with mechanical precision. She had wired it secretly from her mother's charity account, promising herself she'd put it back when she doubled it. Her palms sweated, her breath came in sharp bursts. Every cell in her body screamed for her to stop, yet her finger clicked hit. She won. $10,000, then $20,000. Her heart raced like a runaway train. This is it. I'm back. I'm a genius. But the thing about blackjack? The dealer always wins in the end. By sunrise, her balance were pennies. She stared at the number, numb, as if the screen itself mocked her. Her body crumpled into the chair. She had lost more in one night than some people earned in years, and it wasn't her money. The next morning, Daniel brought her coffee, kissing her forehead. "You look tired, Em. Did you sleep at all?" Emily forced a laugh. "Studying," she lied. But behind her smile was panic. How would she replace that money before her mother noticed? She did what gamblers do best. She borrowed more from Daniel. from her friends, from anyone gullible enough to believe her stories. "I just need to cover some investments until next week. Could you lend me $5,000? I will give it back in days." Her charm, her beauty, her reputation as the rich girl who didn't need money worked in her favor. Nobody suspected. Not yet. Each game felt like a relationship. Roulette was a seducer, whispering promises with its spinning wheel. Crazy Time was chaos incarnate, making her laugh and scream with its carnival madness. Slots were her poison, the lights, the sounds, the flashing jackpots, addictive like a drug. Emily began to live for these moments. Her body craved the adrenaline, even as her mind drowned in shame. At dinners with her family, she heard nothing. Her phone buzzed under the table. She risked spinning during speeches, pretending to text when in reality she was losing thousands. The girl who once sparkled at galas now looked pale, distracted, her once graceful laugh replaced with nervous chuckles. And Daniel noticed. After Daniel left the restaurant, the sound of the door closing echoed in Emily's chest like thunder. His words replayed again and again. "I love you, Emily, but I don't love your addiction." She sat frozen at the table, her fingers trembling on the stem of the wine glass. The world around her carried on. Laughter, the clink of silverware, music drifting through the speakers, but none of it reached her. For the first time, she realized that Daniel wasn't someone she could win back with apologies or charm. He was gone. The night air felt icy as she walked home, her heels clicking against the empty sidewalks. Every step carried his voice inside her head. She tried to argue with herself, tried to convince her heart that he was wrong. "I do love him. I just needed the rush. I just wanted to feel alive." But deep down, she knew the truth. He was right. Back in her apartment, she collapsed on the couch. For once, she didn't open her laptop. She didn't chase the lights, the reels, the spinning wheels. She simply curled into herself and cried, long and hard, until her throat burned. But heartbreak doesn't cure addiction, it feeds it. By the third night, the silence of her apartment gnawed at her. The bed felt too big, the air too heavy. Her phone's glow in the darkness pulled her in like a forbidden lover. With shaking hands, she tapped the familiar app. The slots came alive, music and colors filling the void. Each spin carried a promise. When she lost, she whispered just one more to numb the pain. When she won, her chest surged with hope. Maybe this is how I fix it. Maybe this is how I get Daniel back. But every small victory was followed by a bigger loss. Some nights, she scrolled through old photos of them together. Daniel's hand around her waist, his smile as he kissed her forehead, the warmth in his eyes. Then she'd glance at the mirror and see what she had become. Hollow eyes, messy hair, pale skin from sleepless nights. She would whisper into the empty room, "Daniel, I'm sorry." But walls don't carry apologies, and ghosts don't answer. Soon, letters started arriving. Final notice, overdue payment, credit card debt in 6 figures. The phone rang with unknown numbers, voices demanding repayment, threats growing sharper with each call. She pressed her hands to her ears and rocked on the floor, whispering, "I can't do this. I can't breathe. I need help." But help was the very thing she had pushed away. One night, desperation peaked. She wired her last $50,000 into a roulette game. Her body shook, breath shallow, as she whispered a promise to herself. "If I win this, I'll stop. I'll fix everything. Just one more." The wheel spun, her eyes locked on the ball. For a second, it danced on her number, and then skipped to the wrong one. Her balance dropped to 0. The scream that tore from her chest rattled the windows. She hurled the laptop across the room, the screen shattering against the wall. She collapsed beside it, sobbing until her lungs burned, clawing at her hair as if tearing herself apart would make the pain stop. For hours she stayed there, broken among the shards of glass, until the first light of morning crept through the curtains. Her face was swollen, her body weak, but inside, something shifted. Daniel's voice haunted her. "I love you, but I don't love your addiction." Her father's rage echoed, "You lost our family's wealth." Her mother's tears replayed again and again. She had begged, cried, pleaded, and still ended up alone. A new thought whispered inside her, quiet but sharp. They had abandoned her when she was weak. They turned their backs when she needed them most. If love couldn't bring them back, maybe power could. If money couldn't save her, maybe revenge would. Emily wiped her tears, staring at her reflection in the broken glass. Her old self was gone. The golden daughter, the beloved girlfriend, the spoiled heiress. What remained was someone harder, colder. Her addiction had taken everything from her, but now she would use what was left, her hunger, her obsession, her cunning, to take something back. It was no longer about winning a game. It was about winning her life and making them all regret leaving her. The days that followed felt like walking through ashes. Emily had nothing left. No family wealth, no Daniel, no safety net. But in the emptiness, a dangerous clarity grew. She realized she had two choices: waste away in regret or sharpen herself into someone who would never be powerless again. She started with the little things. She forced herself out of bed at dawn, even when her body begged her to sleep. She jogged until her lungs burned, punishing herself with every step. The pain was a reminder she wasn't a victim anymore. She was rebuilding. Her hands still trembled with cravings for the slots and cards, but she didn't fight it with willpower alone. Instead, she replaced the habit. She devoured books, finance, psychology, game theory. She studied markets the way she once studied roulette wheels, obsessed with patterns and probabilities. What was once addiction became weaponized focus. At night, when the urge to gamble clawed at her, she journaled. Page after page of fury poured out. Anger at Daniel for leaving, at her parents for abandoning her, at herself for being so blind. But hidden in that anger was energy. Each word sharpened her purpose. Slowly, she began working again. Not in casinos or gambling apps, but in the real world of money and manipulation. She joined online trading groups, at first quietly listening, then slowly speaking. Her sharp insights surprising even seasoned investors. She realized she had a gift. Her gambling obsession had taught her how to read risks, how to play with numbers, how to see what others missed. Within months, she scraped together her first small winnings in stock trades. Then she moved to crypto, flipping tiny amounts into bigger ones. The thrill was back, but this time, she was in control. She wasn't a slave to the wheel anymore, she was the one spinning it. And she wasn't just after money, she wanted respect, power, the kind of influence that would make Daniel regret ever walking away, the kind that would make her parents realize they had disowned the wrong child. Her style changed too. Gone were the bright dresses and soft pastels Daniel loved. Now it was sharp lines, black suits, heels that echoed with authority when she walked. Her eyes, once soft, now burned with determination. She carried herself like someone who knew the world owed her something, and she was coming to collect. But deep down, one weakness remained: Daniel's memory. Some nights, she replayed his last words, whispering them into the darkness as if he could hear her. "I love you, but I don't love your addiction." That sentence was a knife that never stopped cutting. She didn't want his pity anymore. She wanted him to see what she had become, to look at her and feel regret so deep it would break him. And so, Emily's new addiction wasn't gambling, it was revenge. The first step? Building a fortune so big that Daniel and her family couldn't ignore her. The second step? Making them need her, so she could turn her back on them just as they had turned their backs on her. And with every deal she closed, every dollar she won back, she could feel it coming closer. The girl who had once been broken in front of a shattered laptop was gone. In her place stood a woman who had learned how to play life itself like a game. This time, she wasn't going to lose. Emily's climb wasn't glamorous at first. She worked quietly, in the shadows, moving like a predator stalking prey. At night, she took online courses in business law. At dawn, she tracked market charts, and during the day, she slipped into online gambling forums, not to play, but to watch. She studied addicts like herself, analyzing their weaknesses, their desperation, their hunger. She began to see it clearly. Gambling wasn't just a game. It was a mirror of human behavior. People craved hope, feared loss, and chased illusions. And anyone who could control that cycle could control people. With this realization, Emily decided to flip the board. She wasn't going to be the gambler anymore. She was going to be the house. Her first step was small. She launched an anonymous online group offering tips and strategies for winning games like blackjack, crazy time, and slots. Addicts flocked to her, hungry for secrets. She gave them just enough to win occasionally, keeping them hooked. Then she sold exclusive strategies, charging thousands. It worked. People paid, desperate to believe. The money flowed in, and Emily reinvested every dollar into building her empire. She created sleek websites, hired coders under fake names, and even developed her own online slot games designed to drain wallets while flashing the illusion of victory. Her empire grew quietly, and so did her reputation in underground circles. She became known as the Queen of Risk, a faceless figure who could manipulate odds, markets, and people with equal ease. But even with her growing power, one obsession burned brighter than the rest: Daniel. Late one night, while scrolling through his social media, she saw him with someone new. A girl with soft brown hair, dimples, and a smile that seemed too sweet. They were standing in front of a bookstore, his arm wrapped around her waist. Emily's stomach twisted into knots. She zoomed in on Daniel's face. He looked happy, peacefully, effortlessly happy. That smile had once belonged to her. Now it was hers no longer. Rage ignited in her chest. He replaced me. He left me in pieces, and now he's moved on like I never mattered. She slammed her laptop shut, breathing heavily. For the first time in months, her hands trembled the way they used to when she lost everything on a spin of the wheel. Only this time, it wasn't about money. It was about him. Her revenge wasn't just about proving herself anymore. It was about taking back what she lost and making sure Daniel realized that leaving her was the worst mistake of his life. The very next morning, Emily called a private investigator. She wanted every detail about Daniel's new girlfriend: who she was, where she worked, what she loved, what she feared. Knowledge was power, and Emily was about to collect it all. Her plan wasn't to win Daniel back. No, that weakness had burned away. Her plan was darker. She wanted him to feel the same helplessness she had felt, to watch his world crumble, to lose something he loved, just as she had lost him. As she stared at her reflection in the mirror, dressed in a black blazer, her lipstick blood red, she whispered to herself, "Your move, Daniel." And for the first time since he walked away, Emily smiled. The report arrived 2 weeks later, a thick file full of photos, notes, and timelines. Emily sat at her desk with a glass of wine, flipping through the pages like a queen reviewing her enemies. Her investigator was thorough. The girl's name was Sophia Carter, 24, a kindergarten teacher. Sweet, patient, the type of woman parents trusted with their children. She liked poetry, indie coffee shops, and old French films. She volunteered at an animal shelter on weekends. In every photo, Sophia looked delicate, like sunlight wrapped in skin. Emily laughed bitterly. Of course, the perfect opposite of me. No scars, no darkness, no addiction. Just wholesome, innocent Sophia. The file also revealed Daniel's schedule, his work hours, his favorite gym, the restaurants he and Sophia frequented. Every detail mapped out like a blueprint of his life.